Man, I really wish I had some place to sit. Heyo! Let's do this. All right, today I'll make it cozy. We're gonna make a seat for the workshop. And so we're gonna start out making the legs. These are just some deck rails or balusters. I think they're called balusters. There it is, 2" by 2", and I'm gonna cut these at a 10-degree offset with my miter saw. Make sure that you do it like a parallelogram, because if you do it like a trapezoid, you're gonna fall over. So we're gonna make these 2 feet. We're gonna make the feet 2 feet, all right? So that's where we're gonna go with this. And then once we get those handy, we're gonna make a circle for the top part. And we're gonna do that with my circle jig. If you haven't checked out that video yet, we'll leave a link up top. I use a little double bar right here just to make sure that I get my insert at a 90-degree angle. And then we're gonna go to the circle jig. And we're gonna cut this out. This is 11 inches in diameter. So you saw me earlier set it up at 5.5 inches for the radius. And we're just gonna go roundy, give it a little sanding, and there we go, circle. We love to make circles. And then this part, in hindsight, was probably unnecessary, but I just lined up a 1, 2, 3, 4 for each of the legs. But I mean, regardless, you could just put them where you want them. And then I'm just going to use the leg itself as a guide in order to get roughly 10 degrees offset with my drill. That way I drill from the bottom and I get the pilot hole, and then I go back in with a 3/8 inch Forstner bit from the top down. Later on, we're going to hide the screws, and this is just a method that I found. Kind of looks cool, and we'll see that later on. But we're going to do that for each one. There's my drill bit, it's 3/8 inches. And then we're going to screw in a couple of screws in the top, and then we're going to conceal them later. So far, so good. There we go. But we got to brace it up, so let's do that next. Again, we left it at 10 degrees offset for the miter, and I'm going to make it like maybe 10.5 inches. Closer to 11. And we just want to make some braces for the middle there. Again, this time you want to make it a trapezoid, not a parallelogram, because we're going to fit them up underneath where the legs are. And then I got this next idea. We want to find the center to cut out a slot for both of them to fit into. And I got this idea from DIY Creators. He used a little nail to find the center in order to transfer that mark into the other piece that you want to fasten it to. And I made a mistake with that first notch. That's why there's an arrow there. And then I just want to take where the rough center is here and then just press the nail head together. That way I know my center, and then I can go forward with making the cut marks where I want to make the cut. And there we go. Without boring you with the table saw, I just did that on the crosscut sled, but there we go. They fit together. That's great. But then we're going to let it sit and glue up overnight, which is why there's a sledgehammer here. And then, there we go. It's not falling apart. So that's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing. Very good. Now we want to stick that bad boy into place. And so I just drilled some pilot holes again with a 3/8 inch Forstner bit. And then we want to conceal those with my 3/8 inch dowel. And that one's kind of being troublesome, so I'm just going to taper it off by I'm going to give it a pounding with the hammer. That way it tapers it off so that I can insert the plug in the hole as such. Boom. And then you force it into place. Do that with all 4 legs. And then we're going to come back with the little Japanese saw there, the flush cut saw. And boom. Give it a nice sanding. And we're ready to roll for the next part, which is concealing those screw heads in the seat. So I'm going to go in with the same process and just pound each of those in and sand it flush. Cut and sand it flush. Then we give it a little wax, let it sit overnight. We got ourselves a finished tool. So now I don't have to stand around the whole time on my workbench. I can just sit down and relax. It's a beautiful thing.